small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
From the heart of Appalachia, located under a shopping mall near the city that moves mountains, you're listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum.
Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Greetings.
I've come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Blockers?
Good morning, everyone. Here to Chew Bubblegum, episode 99. Wow. That is, still blows my mind. Still blows my mind. You know, and you guys commented when we started the new theme song that you guys really liked it. And I'm going to be honest, it's starting to grow on me. I actually like it really good.
You hated it at first.
Well, I didn't hate it. I don't like change a whole lot. And I liked what we did. Episode 101, we will have some news in reference when we changed it, who made the suggestion we changed it. We'll have an update on that coming up in episode 101. Yesterday, September 24th, the world was supposed to end. I talked about chaotic earlier in the week about it. Before we say anything about that, I do think an EMP is very possible, and it could wipe out civilization as we know it. At the same time, the guy who in Germany who made the mistake, and he was supposed to, from what I understand, he meant to say February 24th, and he did later. He actually said September 24th. People took that and ran with it. Okay. So when I found out that the Simpsons had predicted, they were just with a doomsday type scenario on their 24th episode, episode 9. And so I was a little bit concerned. I really, in the back of my mind, didn't think anything would happen. But with the Simpsons having something tied in with it, it wouldn't surprise me if something did happen.
It just gives me very much Y2K vibes. I feel like this whole, people are asking me, oh, what do you think of the 24? Nothing is going to fucking happen. I don't disagree that there was some energy. But contact malfunction. I don't disagree that there was some energy or the fucking portals aligned or the stars fucking changed direct. Okay, sure, I can get behind all of that. But as far as the world ending, the world is never going to end. It's never going to end.
It's the end of the world as we know it.
And I feel fine. Well, I mean, okay. And, people may laugh. Before I explain Dirtydan, do you have anything to add about what your thoughts were about yesterday?
Well, so I got something for Mr. James there. His comment yesterday, 7-Eleven was running out of cash and the bank wouldn't give him any. All fine today, though. Coming from someone who may or may not work at a very large national chain, that happens all the damn time. It happens for a number of reasons. Usually it's not due to proper prior planning. It's more the piss poor performance part of it. But when that is the issue on top of all electronic systems failing, then we can start the snowball of conspiracy truth on that.
Right.
But specifically in regards to yesterday, what we were talking about and your issue, me having a listener that has always sent me stuff and I haven't been able to open anything from him in a similar period of time. And then yesterday of all days, it starts working for me. I don't get it.
Because the energy done be shifting.
Well, in Rebecca actually pulled it up. Cindy's comment there. Can you read that, Rebecca? It's past my screen there.
You can scroll, Goose.
Wow.
Because it sounds so crazy. I pulled it up. It sounds so crazy that we base things on a cartoon. However, these things are right.
Now, that is the reason that I was a little bit, kind of like going either way. Dude, you cannot, especially the Donald Trump on the escalator. There is no way in hell that they did that just on the fly. They had inside information. Somebody is a time traveler. I mean, because they had the sign that was dropped and everything. It was spot on. And I don't care what anyone says. And people may think I'm crazy. Somebody that wrote that episode or drew that sketch for The Simpsons has seen that. There's no doubt in my mind.
I got to turn this way. Do you think maybe that instead of giving us like ancient technology to build like fucking pyramids and monoliths and shit, that they're just feeding us cartoon information because that's all our fucking society can handle at this point?
I hope not, because I also watch South Park, and I really hope some of that shit doesn't happen.
Okay. All right. So the brother of Howie Mandel has been one of the original writers of The Simpsons since 92.
Seth MacFarlane, too, is another one. Like, he knows. He knows.
Conan, Josh Weinstein, where's the other one? Jeff Goldstein, and Mike Reese are some of the names that I recognize, and David Stern. I gotta figure out putting it on TV makes it moose.
Like, it's desensitizing us,
Yeah.
and if we see it on the movies, we're not going to think that it can ever. Oh, because that's the movies, right? Meanwhile, it's just telling you, it's desensitizing you, just like all the sex and the drugs and the fuck. We watched Pulp Fiction the other night. Okay, that movie's fucked up.
Yes, it is.
Like, I had a whole different movie in my head of what that was. I've never seen it, so we watched Pulp Fiction.
Oh,
and they romanticize, and like, there was this whole like up close scene of doing fucking drugs and like shooting heroin, and we're all just like, wow. Like, seeing some of these movies now that you have a different lens to look through, like a different perspective, you're like, holy shit.
The first time I ever saw Pulp Fiction, I was like, after it was over, I'm like, how the hell did anybody think of that? I'm like, yeah, it was kind of a good movie, but it was just, especially the basement scene was very, very cringy when they were in the store, and downstairs in the basement. You mentioned Y2K, and this made me think. And yes, I used to be an asshole. Some people probably still think I am. Back when all that was going on, I was actually, when it turned midnight, I turned the lights off, and there was a group of people with us, and they freaked out, because they didn't know that I had done that. But, it was funny to me, Also, and I think I may have told this one year, I got invited to a New Year's Eve party, and this was many, many years ago. I used to love to play practical jokes, and I thought stuff was funny, and if you didn't, that was your problem. But I was a different person back then. Everybody was counting, man, I am. Everybody grows up.
We didn't know you back then, so technically we don't know.
And I'm still waiting for you to grow up.
Oh, okay. So anyway, they were counting down when the ball was going to drop, and when it got down to like 2, I unplugged the TV, and you would have thought that I murdered somebody at this party that I was at. And I started laughing, and they did not think it was funny. And sadly, I never got invited back to that New Year's Eve party again. And that was like in 2005. So.
We can't talk about my New Year's Eve parties. All right, on to segment 1.
Well, before we do that, we're going to have some listener email. And Dirty Dan, after you read this one, I've done a little bit of research on this. He since reached out to me again this morning. And take it away, Dirty Dan.
All right. Hey, I remember last week you asked Rebecca if her place had any ties to the Civil War. They're from Richmond, right? There was a battle in Richmond in 1862, and almost 6,000 men were killed. It was a major victory for the Confederates, but I don't know exactly where it took place, and I'm not familiar with the area. I just did a quick Google search. Sean.
Now,
because of the puddles.
Yes, and I don't think that was last week. That was actually a week before last because we came in and we didn't do listener email last week.
So yeah, that like ties into this like being considered like a church property and the fact that it was just farm fields. Like we still have concrete fucking blocks in our driveway from the feeders that they had out here for cattle, deer. I don't know. But that's interesting because I looked up. Remember, I sent you guys that link for like all of like the haunted places in Kentucky, and there was a whole section on Richmond. And all of them were pretty much children, which was weird and I found interesting. And then like there's been some things happening on the property that I can't explain.
Now, like Sean has said, there were 6,000 men killed in that. And from just the brief research that I did, this was the second largest battle in the Civil War that lost their lives. And it happened right there in your neck of the woods. Now, not far from where you're at, there is a barge, correct? Okay. There was actually an old school barge as well, not in the same place, but in that area. So I've not been able to pinpoint any like where, people were like, they actually had, the actual battle at. I would bet that it was really close, if not on your property, where some of it actually took place. Because what I can understand is that it started at one particular place. They were trying to retreat and move back, and they got scattered. And I would think that may have something to do with the puzzles just a little bit. Puddles just a little bit. I don't
know necessarily that like people died here, but I feel like that like this land is sacred. Like if this was like a retreat or like they found safe haven here or something. And then Shemus and I were having a conversation about the church on the corner, the Million Bible Church that's like held in with a pole.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to do, Hobbs was saying they're not going to do that. Like if it's like the way that they maintain that structurally is super weird. Like why wouldn't you just relocate the church? And then they haven't like created anything to stop the flow of nature from eroding that. Like it's literally about to like, it's a no for me, but yeah. So I want to look into the history of that church because I never fucking see anybody there ever.
I see
people parking.
There's an old man who takes care of their grass there. The little tract of grass with a weed whacker and a little push mower, but that's the only person I've seen there regularly.
Or it's like the guys that are doing like line work or like parking there, like the internet guys or the
oh yeah, just a bunch of random people will park there. But the only person I've seen that does anything for that place has a little weed whacker and a little push mower and just.
Yo, we created a whole like energy force field around here. And there was, if you looked at the radar, it was literally raining all around where we were. It was supposed to pour that day. Like the energy that was flowing at Flockfest was unmatched.
And also too, you have to think, if, especially back in that time, they would sometimes take high points up on hills and mountains to try to get a better view of the valleys to see where people were at and stuff. So if nobody died at Short Forms in the Civil War, I would bet anything that they were at least hundreds, if not thousands of people on the property.
Yeah.
Rebecca, you want to take the next email?
Hi, everyone. When can we expect another Antarctica episode? Also, when do the listener request topics Also, when do you do listener request topics? Can you talk about Bob Lazar a little more, or maybe do an entire in-depth episode about him? Can you give us more hints onto next week's 100th episode? I've listened since the first show and downloaded it from iTunes and listen on my way to work. Peace, love, and Roswell. Grant.
Well, you want to answer the first part of that about that? I'm open for an Antarctica episode anytime because
listen, we've been we got to do one soon. Maybe episode 101 will be Antarctica 101. Maybe we can do something. Maybe we can do something there.
That sounds great to me. As far as next week's episode, we're going to have a huge roundtable, the largest. That's a great idea. Time to metal detect the property.
Why are you shaking your head?
You don't want to metal detect? Why?
Why?
No, I want to get an ultrasound done.
Well, yeah, but wouldn't you have to find like a particular area
we can
first?
Do both, Dirtydan.
Well, I mean, the metal detecting is only going to do us so much because how the land is now was not how it would have been in the Civil War time.
Right.
It's been just fucking bulldozed.
Right, but the general shape would have still been there with trees and so forth.
Yes, it would have been like this, just like it is now.
Which makes my previous statement even more. If you have a lookout, you're able to see, farther in the distance and so forth.
Maybe that's what the tower. Maybe it wasn't a fucking feeder. Maybe it was a watchtower.
All right, they didn't have that concrete back then, so that's not from the Civil War.
The fuck they didn't.
That kind of concrete? No.
Maybe.
Okay. Have you ever thought about this? Sometimes people take like old concrete or hard rocks or whatever during that time, 1862, and they put modern concrete over top of it to stabilize it and improve on it. Have you ever thought about that?
I doubt it.
Okay.
Anyway, we're gonna do another Antarctica episode soon,
Soon.
maybe we should do like have them email in, or like I can do a video or you can do a video, and we can do one episode where maybe we we just briefly touch on like a bunch of listener topics.
Definitely. We have actually not done.
Segment could be a different topic.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I cut you off.
Oh, you're totally fine. We've actually not done the listener requested topics in a while. Coming up in segment 1 of this show, we'll have the Twitch audience giving us some ideas or anything that they want us to talk about. Hold those. Don't start putting those on the screen right now. And we'll do that in segment 1 after we have another story. A little hint, like I said, we're going to have a large round table. I don't think we're going to get him, but I have tried my damnedest to get Ryan Upchurch for episode 100. I contacted several of his agents that were listed on a particular website who handle his affairs, and I have not got any email replies back. I talked to 2 of them who said they no longer represent him. They would not give me any further contact information. I still sent 2 emails out that supposedly go directly to him. Hopefully, I will hear back from him. If not, we're going to still keep trying to have him on in the future. I have also emailed the agent of another guy. They've not got back to me as of yet. I actually sent this email out Friday. I'll just go ahead and spoil it because, with the short notice, I emailed, and I'll tell you who I emailed. Let me pull it up here on my screen.
Oh my God, Goose.
What? Sorry. I actually emailed,
the person who received the email of the email that you wrote to a person.
God damn, we're all on the edge of our fucking seats right now. Who was it?
I actually emailed the representative for Creed Bratton from the office. So I have not heard anything back yet. Keep your fingers crossed though, because I was reading an article where he's really into, some of the UFOs, flying saucers, and stuff like that. So
There he is.
So Hey, welcome, Firewater. We talked about you a little bit earlier. So
I wasn't going to say his name so that he wouldn't have issues.
sorry. Dude, we're all, you can go back and look at the comments. We're all on the radar. Everyone has issues. So, but you know,
I'm an issue. You're still with me.
if we can't get Creed on episode 100 when we do an Alpha special again, I would love to have him on that. So,
Okay,
Oh my God, can we do Creed Bratton office trivia with Creed Bratton?
all that.
we're gonna go back to the comments she just said.
Who said what?
You know exactly what you said. Go ahead and repeat it.
I didn't say nothing.
Bullshit. So Goose can catch it this time.
He caught it.
No, he didn't.
I don't know
Say
what I
it.
said.
Say it, Dirtydan.
She said, "I have issues, and you're still with me."
Oh no, I said
yeah.
I am an issue, and you're still with me.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
I didn't hear it properly, so that's why I was. And then you knew what you said, you liar. Ah.
Well, no, you had to trigger it. I couldn't remember what I said 45 seconds ago.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
All right, Goose.
that happens to me sometimes. But if there's anyone watching on Twitch or listening to the podcast, if there's any celebrity or somebody you find fascinating that does talk about UFOs that are in, to that conspiracy theories, please just contact us and let us know, and we'll try to make contact with that person and get them as a guest. Now my email, and I started not to pick this one, but I did because I feel that it goes a little bit with what we talked about earlier. My TikTok. This email starts out. This email is for Goose. My name is Jenna. I've been listening to the show for a little over a year now. I'm friends with the show on TikTok and subscribe to it on YouTube as well. Goose, I have tried several times to be your friend on TikTok. I was wondering why you haven't added me. I don't have anything on my page and follow very few people. Is that the reason why? I'm a fan of the show and want to be a part of the TikTok community, Jenna. Jenna, I apologize to you. Message me or email me what your TikTok name is that you're trying to add me, because I get quite a lot on my personal TikTok. And if you don't have a picture, and if you just like to get on there and watch the content, that's fine. But if you don't have a picture and your profile shot looks like it is taken from someone else's account and I don't know you, I'm not going to add you. Now, if you don't have a, content and you do want me to add you every single time, put a flock in the about me
flamingo,
stuff. Yes.
Goose.
Well, sorry.
Flamingo.
Sorry. A flamingo. Sorry. Put a
One way is the train wreck.
put a flamingo there, and I will know that you're part of the flock, and I will then add you. Like I said, I have been having trouble with my TikTok. I am going to start.
Your TikTok troubles.
I am going to start, and I have had some people email me some videos when I talked about, I think last week or week before last, doing some lives and dissecting some police videos and stuff. I am going to start doing that very soon. I'm working on a special project, and that
You
project.
are a special project.
It takes one to know one, and
You're damn right it does.
So once I get that special project finished, it will be well worth the wait, and then I'm going to start doing that as well. So
Look,
So
I made a
we do-
paperclip chain.
Oh, good for you, Dirtydan. Can I? I'm gonna say so. I'm gonna spoil it. So he showed me the intro of this fucking. I was already in tears with just the intro of it, and that's all I saw was the fucking 3-minute intro. That's all he showed me. And then what we are gonna do though is we're gonna when he sends it to me, I'm gonna watch it first, and we're gonna do a live recording, or maybe not live, but just a recording. Goose and I, we're gonna do a reaction for the video, so we'll have that for you when he's done.
thank you very much. And this is a labor of love, and I'm being really thorough, taking my time, and like she just said, just the intro, and I think that the intro is actually like maybe not even 2 minutes, and and she had me crying. She had me getting emotional just watching her reaction as watching it, and
She's really good at that.
so I mean I can't wait till people see it. I can't wait till the Queen sees it. I can't wait till
You're
Dirtydan sees it.
You're excited for.
Very. I can't wait till the flock sees it, because and like I said, I am going to enter it into a few film festivals next year. So
I'm excited for that.
Oh, so that is all the email we have for this week. Dirtydan, I will let you do all the contact stuff this week.
Oh boy, I get to graduate to numbers.
You get to do every bit of it.
And I know Goose was having trouble with a voicemail. He's trying to get on the show, so hopefully we'll bring it to you next week. But if you want to call, text in, or leave a voicemail that we can play on the show, you can do that by hitting the number 606-373-3396. Again, that is 606-373-3396. Or if you don't want to do that, you can email us at goose@heretechewbubblegum.com, dirtydan@heretechewbubblegum.com, or the different one, flockingqueen@gmail.com.
Correct. Now, during this episode, when we take breaks and so forth, and I want to remind everyone, if you're a fan of Justin Perkins, he has a band called PreVise, and they have a new song coming out tomorrow. You'll be hearing commercials during this episode on the podcast for that upcoming single, which drops tomorrow on YouTube.
And I gotta say that I know that guy's very humble.
Yes, he is.
But he really don't give himself enough credit, because I've actually been enjoying their music. Like, it's really, really good.
Yes,
and for being produced in a basement or garage or whatever they're doing, they sound really, really well put together.
Yes, I totally agree. Justin's a great guy. Justin's intelligent, talented, all-around great guy. So,
Most of the time.
Rebecca, we are now in segment 1, and the first thing we're going to talk about is the Bluegrass Army Depot that is in your area. And yes, and I want you to play the first video that I sent you.
I'm going to go as parentheses as Halloween.
There you go. And for those of you listening to the podcast when it drops, if there is a spot here where we don't talk, we're watching the video, I'll try to edit that out and so forth. But this is about a 2-minute, 40-some second video. And then after, we watch it, then we'll discuss it and talk about some other stuff.
Oh, shit. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right.
Kentucky is so weird. We've got spooky stuff hidden inside of our spooky stuff. A lot of you may know about the Bluegrass Army Depot in Madison County, Kentucky. Maybe you've even heard it called Kentucky's Area 51, though to be fair, we do have a few of our own Area 51s in Kentucky, but that's a whole other story for another time. Maybe you even know the public-facing information on this place, which, if you ask me, is scary enough all by itself. But did you know that they are apparently hiding UFOs here as well? Just hear me out, okay? People have claimed over the years to have seen UFOs and UAPs over top of the facility. I once lived like a mile or 2 away from this place, which was perpetually terrifying. And I had a pretty significant UFO sighting. But there are rumors and stories about an insider witness who knew lots of things about this place, and that's where the story gets really wild. In the early 90s, this mysterious insider came forward to speak about his knowledge of the secret ongoings at the depot. He confided in an antique store owner who happened to run a blog about Kentucky's high strangeness, and boy did he confide a lot. So here are a whole bunch of things that he said, and you can pause and read it if you want to, but this one right here, this number 3, I think is the most important one, and I'll tell you why in just a second. On top of the fact that some of the things he said were later verified many years down the road, like this part right here specifically. It's amazing that he had some type of knowledge to know how an invisible aircraft would work, because keep in mind, this blog was even written years before we had this. Mercedes invisible car. Very cool, very interesting. As far as I know, these were released in like 2012. So somehow in the early 90s, this guy knew how to make an invisible aircraft, or an invisible car also would work the same way. Does that mean he was completely, totally telling the truth? I have no idea, but I think it lends a lot of authenticity to his story. So, are there UFOs stored at the Bluegrass Depot? Let's hope so. Follow for more spooky stuff.
And that is from TikToker Paranormally Correct. And
I'm going to share these
yes.
to the Flocking Lives group so that you guys have them as well. And then I'll send the next one after we watch that.
Okay. We have a comment there. So you do live near the depot and you haven't seen any UFOs. Well,
I have a video of one from that area.
Yes.
So.
Yes. And that's the one you sent me, correct?
Yes.
So discussing the Bluegrass Army Depot just a little bit. Okay.
No, we're close. Like
Yes.
we're close.
Remember the whole internet debacle of Moon Internet not being able to come in here because, we're within the no-fly zone?
We're like right on the edge of the no-fly zone.
Yes. Okay, so you're not near the Kentucky Depot. Okay. Well, the one in Kentucky Depot, it has some... This is where they stored and they started destroying the nation's chemical weapons and ammunition and so forth. Now, there's a lot that goes on with this, and there's a lot of research you can do about the Bluegrass Army Depot. It was established in 1941. It began operations in 1942 as an ammunition and general supply storage depot. The facilities at the depot sits on 14,594 acres. They have 1,000.
How many acres? Hold on. What was that number?
14,594 acres.
Fuck.
They have 1,153 buildings on site. Now, the igloos that they store the weapons in, they have those are called igloos. They're like they're like mounds of dirt with big concrete things on them.
They're little bunkers.
Yes, they have 902 of those, and they have the storage capability of 3,233,598 square feet.
Those are where the cows always are.
Well, they keep the cows there. Yes, you are correct. They keep the cows there from what I read and researched, to not have to cut the grass, the cows and all that.
Because it's so uneven.
Exactly. So
I already know.
When I was doing research for this story, just a little bit of facts, and then we'll get into some discussion, but we'll break it up into groups. Around 1986, the government came up with this brilliant idea to get rid of all of our chemical weapons and munitions that we had stored and all of this. This didn't actually go into effect until like the late 2018, early spring of 2019. Now, the base was originally scheduled to close in September of next year, 2023, once all the munitions and everything was destroyed.
All that nerve agent.
And mustard gas. Now, we're going to be getting into some good stuff here in just a minute. Now, if you live in very close range to the base, they provide you with free gas masks for you and your family. You have, like top priority if something happens, if they have spills and so forth, or leaks. Now, the base has had leaks since it first went into creation in 1942. We'll start with the first leak that was ever reported. In 2007, they had a sarin gas leak. In July 25th through August the 6th, they had 2 leaks of mustard gas, and this one killed 23 workers. July 12th, 2008, another sarin gas leak. August the 6th, 2012, another sarin gas leak. October 2013, another sarin gas leak. September 2017, a mustard gas leak. Now, when I was pulling these, and these numbers that I was reading off with the leaks and stuff, I got those off Wikipedia and then researched them with actual news articles. They were all right on the money. I could find the same thing from Wikipedia to news articles just to verify to make sure that this was true. Now, this last one was added yesterday, September 24th, 2022, to Wikipedia. And it says that there's multiple ongoing leaks of mustard gas, and citizens near the area have been told to stay indoors and turn off all ventilation systems at their houses. When I researched that one, I could not find any news articles. I could not find anything. I do not know if that one is true or not. That one was added yesterday to the Wikipedia page on the Bluegrass Army Depot. I have no idea if that one is true. None whatsoever. But back in July, Kentucky Congressman Andy Barr made an amendment to next year's fiscal year budget to the defense, nation security, and all that. And they're paying for a feasibility test right now to be used after September 23rd of next year to, once all the munitions are gone, they're still going to keep the base open, but it's going to specialize in something else. What that something else is, we have not been told yet. Now, when I started going down this rabbit hole, do you guys have any comments before I go on?
I'm just trying to pick my jaw up off the floor. Don't mind me.
Dirty
I'm
Dan?
just waiting for someone to come notify me because I'm in the no-fly zone that I need to turn my ventilation system off.
Now, let's see. As I started down this rabbit hole, this led me to some posts on Reddit where people were talking about the Bluegrass Army Depot in Richmond, Kentucky. And evidently, there is a lot of trains that have been abandoned near the base that are owned by CSX, and they've been there for years. Okay. Now, the mustard gas is heavier than air.
We're safe on the hill.
Yeah.
See? And if it rains
yeah.
hard enough, I just need to get some alligators because I already got a moat. I'm set.
That is true.
I'm good.
But the train tracks that go out of the base, they tie into the public tracks.
Yep.
There's also been, and that was brought out by somebody that was making some comments on Reddit that states he used to work there. Now, I don't know if any of these are true. I don't, there was no way to verify. The helicopter stuff, with helicopters being spotted, is 100% real and legit. There has been reports of that. The other stuff, I have no idea. Now, I took some screenshots of some of the stuff on Reddit. The guy that worked there and let me get to his username really quick. Nautic Gypsy is his username. He says that there's a shitload of deadly chemicals stockpiled at the depot. He doesn't know when he worked there, but he wonders, and he has speculation to think there's an underground tunnel that connects to Fort Knox base. What's your thoughts on that, Dirty Dan?
I believe it.
Okay. Now,
I believe it goes right through the middle of that little national park down by the river.
Okay.
Off Old Boonesboro.
Now,
because there's a tunnel entrance.
Okay. Now, Rebecca, do you want to play the second video, and then we'll continue our discussion on this?
Okay.
Remember that time when I said that Kentucky hides weird stuff inside of weird stuff? Well, here's another story where things just kind of keep getting weirder the more you find out about it. We all know Kentucky has a lot of places with caves and tunnels, and there are even some catacombs, but did you know that there are tunnels underneath Richmond. Tunnels lie beneath a sizable area in downtown, and apparently they are big enough to get lost in. And according to sources who have entered and explored them, they are incredibly dangerous. But why do they exist to begin with? It's unclear how or why the tunnels came about, but there are at least two camps of belief regarding their purpose. They were either built around the time of the Cuban Missile Crisis and were intended as a safety shelter, or they've got something to do with this place, which we talked about in a previous video, and if you haven't seen that, go check that one out real quick. Now, from what I've read, explorers think that it has something to do with the former and not the latter, simply because of what was found inside of the tunnels. And what was that, you might ask? Rations, pretty much. There were barrels of water dated all the way back to the 60s, and apparently there were government issue biscuits. And unsurprisingly, there's also a lot of trash and graffiti. Now listen, I'm not telling you where these tunnels are, okay? You all kept asking about that hole by Route 60. I'm not going to tell you. No, really, I'm not going to tell you because for one, it's dangerous. For two, it's been closed off, so you can't get there anyway. But the third reason, which I find somewhat creepy, is that these tunnels actually give direct access to the interiors of private property. Can you imagine being at work and all of a sudden a hatch in the floor pops open and some kind of sewer lurker just bursts out? It's weird. Let me know in the comments if you knew about this, and also let me know if you've been down there yourself. And don't forget to follow for more spooky, weird stuff.
The tunnels in Richmond, okay? Now, this guy on Reddit, says, he did not know, but he has very strong belief that there was.
And the fact that Mammoth Cave just suddenly added 6 more miles all of a sudden. So I did a thing, all right? We went across the road, Thomas and I, my brother.
Right.
And we went into that abandoned house that's across the way, and I'm incriminating myself right now, but fuck it, I don't care. We didn't like damage the property or anything like that. But so there's a tunnel that's like a cellar, like built into the fucking hillside, but it looks like I'm not going to be the one that takes a sledgehammer to it. Okay. No. That is not a Rebecca job, but like, it looks like there was brick added to the brick, right? Like it looks like there was a hole that was sealed up. And the other thing that Thomas and I found, it's all overgrown. So we're going to have to like go back in the winter once it dies. But there is a giant odd metal fucking container in the middle of the yard that is completely overgrown, and it has the weirdest doors on it. Like it almost like there's like a door on the top, and there's also like a door on the side, and it's metal, and it sounds hollow.
Now, and this is the cave or the cutout. This has a door over it too, right? Is this the one I saw back in like April, May?
When you were driving right before our driveway?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You saw it, and there was like vines over it?
Yes.
And it looks super enticing? Yeah, that one.
Well,
dare you to drink our water.
I think we have a new mission. We need to find where these tunnels are in Richmond. What I found fascinating.
That's a podcast episode coming to you.
Definitely.
Listen. Dirtydan and tunnels that have military presence don't get along so well.
No. You heard her say in that last TikTok video, these were ginormous,
They're huge. They're Dirtydan size.
No, I understand that. What I'm saying is, I floated a truck into a river once trying to run from the National Guard. I'm not doing it again.
Listen, it's just about knowing the people in the right places. Okay,
See, hey,
if you put on
we
your
have
cloak
to do the tunnels.
Nobody can see you. How do you think I go to Muggle Land?
And what do you guys think about what she said with the army stuff being found in there, like the government biscuits and the water and basically the rations, the MREs, meals ready to eat? I mean, there's no doubt after seeing that video, and I saw the video first, and then seeing this comment on Reddit while doing research, there is tunnels there. There's no doubt in my mind, there's tunnels there.
I mean, what kind of MREs? Because there are some that are just slapping.
They were biscuits. They were government issue biscuits.
No, there's also MREs that were not the biscuits.
I don't know, Dirty Dan. Is that really your fucking question?
We're an important role.
At least you know you got snacks along the way on your journey already there for you.
Yeah,
just all the biscuit crumbs.
Yeah,
but if I got the lasagna, I definitely don't want it. If they got the barbecue chicken over rice, I'll definitely take that.
Well, these were from the 60s, so if you want to eat them, feel free, my friend.
I will happily eat them.
Those are like 50-some years old. Those would make you sick.
Goose, they could be 60-some years old, too.
Well, definitely.
No.
Let's see. All right. Here's what the guy says too about some more stuff. Just kind of rehashing. He says, I used to work there a long time ago. Train cars were always full. They would come and go out of the base. The base is interesting, to say the least. They have some really nasty chemicals and more firepower than all of Texas and Kentucky combined. I do not live there currently, but they do have some mighty suspicious happenings there other than just chemical weapons.
Well, and like where I work, we have, I guess, like a contract that they come and get fuel when they need it.
Right.
And like it's like tanker trucks just parading into the parking lot, both of ours and theirs. And the last time they were there was a couple of real interesting trailers, and the guys in the trucks had gas masks on.
Really? Now, did that make the hair on the back of your neck stand up? Did that make you, pay more attention, get away? Did it have
no? I looked at it and I'm like, I was talking to Justice, one of the guys I work with. I'm like, are they wearing masks in there? And he's like, yep, I'm leaving. And he walked out back. But I'm just standing there. I'm like, what are the chances of me getting my phone to take a picture and or getting tackled and arrested and never heard from again? So I'm standing there and watching. And like this, the part that really gets me is they got out of the truck. The driver got out of the truck that I was looking at, took the mask off, like slid it up,
right,
went to the back, did something, slid it back down, got back in the truck.
Well, to finish our discussion on this for today, and we will talk about this again, I'm honest, I'm going to try to find out where some of these tunnels are at. I may not be able to, but I'm going to try my best, because I have some contacts at a PD in Richmond, so I'm going to see if I can find out where at least some of them are at. But
I got contacts too, Goose.
Well, good.
I got contacts.
Well, you get in touch with your contacts. I'll get in touch with my contacts.
Listen, I'll have my people call your people, okay?
Good. It sounds great to me. But, the guy on Reddit that posted that they do other stuff besides the chemical weapons and storage and destruction and all that. Now, and it has been a while. You guys may have been on the show when we talked about this. You may have not been. This is an older episode. But there was 2 cases in the late 1970s where a UFO was spotted near the base in Waco, Kentucky, which is like just a few miles away. And the people that spotted it, one of them was a Kentucky State Police trooper at the time who happened to be a retired Navy pilot who signed an affidavit saying there is nothing that the United States government had that could go that fast. There was no aircraft known to him, and he had over 6,000 hours of flying time. There was also a preacher and his wife who observed the UFO on the same night in another part of Waco, Kentucky, that the state trooper did as well. And there's lots of unusual things that have been seen over top of the base, near the base, that people can't explain. Now, some of these could be, in the late 80s, early 90s, I think some of those could have been drones because they were testing and trying to perfect those at the time. If you look at any aerial pictures of the base, there's no runways there. You can't, but at the same time, the TR-3B, straight up, But I just think it's fascinating. Like I said, I will keep on to this, and we will definitely talk about this again. Right now, we are going to take a break. How long are we going to take a break, Rebecca?
You want to do 10 minutes, and then we'll do the rest of the segments, and I have a new question of the week.
Yes. And while we are on break, I want the Twitch audience right now to be thinking of a subject that you want us to talk about, and we will discuss it when we come back from the break. If you're listening to the podcast, we'll be back in just a few moments. Be sure to check out and support the PreVise band. I'll have all the TikTok stuff, all that added in the description of the show. What are we listening to, Rebecca?
We're listening. We're here. We're chewing that
Oh, yes,
okay.
We are. Yes, we are.
Old man turned 98. He won the lottery, died the next day. It's a black fly in your Chardonnay. It's a death row.
Keep diving down the rabbit hole while we take a break. You're listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum with Goose, Dirtydan, and Rebecca. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Justin.
And I'm Bruce.
And we're PreVise. Our new song,
Still Alive,
will be streaming October 3rd.
On iTunes, Spotify, YouTube Music, wherever you go to find music, give us a listen.
Check it out.
I felt it all inside. You left me dead but still alive.
And welcome back to Here to Chew Bubblegum. Oh, Dirtydan will be with us shortly. He has something to take care of. He had to take the Browns to town. How about you?
Dealing with a tiny psycho.
How about you? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he was doing something else that you texted me about. Sorry about that. That TikTok that you put up of her was so cute. That was heartwarming.
Of us in the shack.
Yes.
When she's cute, she's super cute and she's super sweet. But she's much like, do you remember those commercials back when we used to watch TV and it was for the Sour Patch gummy bears? It was like first they're sour and then they're sweet, and like the gummy bear would like cut off her pigtail and then go like give her a hug and tell her she's beautiful. Yeah, that's my daughter. Do
you want to pick a topic there? And
I don't know. I can't do on the. So we got CERN. We got CERN. We got not sure what has been covered yet, but I could listen about the Appalachian Bigfoot.
Okay, Bigfoot. Okay.
And then we got, how about the topic that evil scientists of the world are chasing immortality, including the 12-year-old child prodigy with the highest IQ like ever, while they shake realities, timelines, and open portals to who knows where in the process. There's a root system under the Devil's Tower. Yeah, it's a lot.
You pick one, and ship mess if you don't care. Put their TikTok name up. That way I can give them credit in the show description. So, Rebecca, the pressure is on you. When I did read Chaotix, at first I thought he was talking about Stranger Things, the show on Netflix.
I mean, that's based on true fucking events.
Well, yes, it is, at the Montauk station in New York, or the now closed station in New York. Grand Rising, Brad the Builder. I love that name. But we can talk about anything. Just pick one. I'll jot their name back down here to.
I mean, it's your show. You pick one. I'm not picking.
Hey, you're the co-host. You pick one too.
No, I already picked the question of the week. You pick a topic.
Let's go with CERN. Who was the one that?
That was Dez.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't touched on CERN in a while, which, I mean, it kind of, first of all, everything's connected, all right? So CERN's also going to, like, tie into Alan's comment with opening fucking portals. And who knows? Bigfoot could come out of those portals. I mean, we could go all day.
Well, definitely. Do you think we'll ever know what the true deal behind CERN is?
No. And at this point, I literally take everything that they tell us. I look at the exact opposite and kind of look at both of those together. Like, okay, so they said that they were turning it on. So did they turn it off? They said they were cranking it all the way up. Did they finally shut it off? And that's why everything fucking collapsed onto itself? I don't know.
Well, if you do some research, and there's a lot of people think that the Mandela effect started on a grand scale when they first turned it on without actually doing anything.
I believe that the Mandela effect is the Mandela effect within itself, because it all started with Nelson Mandela, and that's a whole fucking Mandela effect too. Yeah, wrap your brain around that one. This is the reality that I live in. That the Mandela effect is in itself a fucking Mandela effect, just like semantics is in fact semantics. Like the definition of semantics is semantics. Yeah, it hurts your head. Goose is just absorbing that right now.
Yes, definitely. Now, Dez and let's just make sure I got this right. The Dez Mo 114. That is also the same as your TikTok ID, correct? Because I want to give you, credit for that and so forth. What?
Did I break your brain?
No. Well, yes, you did. But you've got different locations of CERN. I mean, you have the big one, and then you have one in Tennessee. You have, you probably have one in Antarctica.
There's probably one at every fucking ley line intersection.
Wow, you've it is hard to make me speechless.
Twice in a row there?
Yes, you have.
I don't think that they're playing God. I think that they're measuring things, but just like anything, right? Like, so if you think about it, when they take x-rays, they're measuring your bone structure, right? Like they're taking measurements, they're taking pictures, they're taking documentation of it, but it's still reacting in some sort of way. So if CERN is just basically a measuring device, okay, if we're going to break this all the way down, and it's measuring particles and certain things and getting like glimpses of what a measurement of the universe, whatever the fuck, looks like, right? It's still going to produce something, though. It's still going to have some sort of conflict with the other energies that are going on. So whether they cranked it all the way up to measure whatever, or they turned it off, it's still going to have some sort of effect.
Yes.
Not necessarily that it's forcing manipulation on anything, but that it's measuring all of these things, and maybe like having so many tabs open on your system, like, is it going to crash? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I think of it.
That definitely makes sense.
Judge canceled her TikTok account.
Okay. Well, I will still just give her.
You can just tag the Desmo 114 and it'll be good.
Yeah, I will do that.
And then when you post it, I'll download it and send it to TikTok. And then, because she can't watch it, if she deleted her TikTok, it doesn't matter. We'll figure it out.
Okay. Well, I will just post a link in the Telegram as well. Actually, just looking up some stuff on CERN here 2 days ago, it says that and this evidently. See.
CERN is just the biggest one. They broke the record for magnetic power this year at another facility, supposed to be 90,000 times stronger than the Earth's magnetic field. That's what I'm saying. Whatever they're measuring, it's still having an effect. It's just, I think people are getting confused where they think that and this is just my thoughts on it, my opinion, is that CERN is manipulating something. Like, that's the intent, is to manipulate something. I don't think that that's the intent. I think that's just what's happening as a cause. If that makes sense. Like,
Yes.
if they turn on a magnetic field that's 90,000 times stronger than the Earth's magnetic field, it's going to fuck some shit up. But they didn't turn it on necessarily to fuck shit up, right?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely. That definitely makes sense. Well, I always try to stay up to date with CERN and what they're doing. Like Chaotic said a little bit ago, if they do something big, we'll definitely know it. We'll feel it. And I do believe that. But at the same time, if the Mandela effect really did start when that CERN first went online, not really cranking up the stuff, like they have been doing, maybe we may not know it,
When did CERN start? What year?
It was in the, they actually started building it, I think, in the early 2000s. For some reason, I'm wanting to think it's either between 03 and 05.
1954, CERN was founded in
Yeah.
1954. Okay, when did the Mandela effect start?
2012. Well, it became more popular. More people were catching on to it after 2012.
Okay, so he apparently, that's about him dying in prison.
Now, the 1959 is when they were founded. They didn't actually build the machine that they have now. I think it was the early 2000s when they actually built this one. I think. I'm not really sure.
2019 apparently is when the first Mandela.
Okay. See,
Hold on a second.
I was thinking it was sooner than that.
The term Mandela effect was first coined in 2009.
Okay. Well, and I know it's been like almost 10 years, maybe 10 years since the Higgs, boson particle has been discovered. So, well, and Chaotic made a good comment there. So they actually had a first one turned on in 1959. Where do you think they got that technology from in 1959 to turn on that first one?
Fucking reverse engineering.
Bingo.
Pandora, iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. We're everywhere. You're listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum with Goose, Dirtydan, and Rebecca. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Justin.
And I'm Bruce.
And we're PreVise. Our new song,
Still Alive,
will be streaming October 3rd.
on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube Music, wherever you go to find music. Give us a listen.
Check it out.
I felt it all inside. You left me dead but still alive.
For Here to Chew Bubblegum News, I am Goose. Researchers in China have discovered a new type of crystal nestled among the volcanic debris of a site on the near side of the moon, as well as a potential fuel source that could help revolutionize the production of clean and efficient energy on Earth. The small transparent crystal named Changzhite, after the Chinese moon goddess Chang, is more than 1 billion years old and is as wide as a human hair. According to Global Times, a Chinese state-run news site, in early September, researchers with the International Mineral Association confirmed that the tiny moon crystal has a never-before-seen composition and is related to other minerals found only on the moon or in meteors. Researchers collected the crystal along with 4 pounds of lunar rocks in 2020 during China Chang's 5 mission. These rocks were the first lunar samples to be taken to Earth since 1976 and the first lunar samples ever collected by China. The Chanzanite crystal discovery marks the 6th newest mineral to be identified on the moon and the first identified by China. The previous 5 discoveries were made by either the United States or Russia. Last February, a strange object appeared in a driveway in the UK. At first, the family thought someone had thrown a piece of charcoal into their yard, which they found a little strange. As it turns out, however, the true identity of the mystery rock is even stranger. It wasn't a piece of charcoal or even a rock. It was actually a meteorite that had crash landed in their driveway. Within 12 hours of the discovery, it was in the hands of researchers. During the initial test, scientists made an unexpected find. The meteorite was up to 12% water. Most meteorites become contaminated by the Earth's landscape and atmosphere, tainting any research to be done on space material. Because this meteorite, dubbed the Winecombe meteorite, was found so quickly, however, scientists are confident that the water isn't from Earth. This makes the Winecombe meteorite the first ever to contain alien water. What's really interesting for us with this meteorite is that it was collected 12 hours after landing, said the National Museum meteorite researcher Ashley King, as she explained at a recent speaking appearance via The Telegraph. So the water that's in the rock hasn't been contaminated with the water that we have in our atmosphere. So it's basically really fresh, he continued. We can be really confident that when we measure the water, that it's extraterrestrial. The discovery brings planetary scientists one step closer to answering one of the biggest questions in the field. Where did the Earth's water come from? Scientists think that the water on Earth either came from comets or asteroids. While comets contain mostly ice and dust, asteroids are made up of rock. With that in mind, the comet explanation might seem more likely. The Winecombe meteorite, however, supports the scientist theory. A world-renowned scientist and former engineer of the United States Air Force and Boeing Company, using a telescope, has photographed a UFO with a diameter of 250 meters flying at a speed of 48,000 kilometers per hour. But this is just one of the huge UFOs, of which there are many have been recorded, according to Frederick Portugal. This is absolute proof that the aliens are already here. This data has been confirmed as authentic by the U.S. National Air and Space Intelligence Agency. Frederick, a former U.S. Air Force and Boeing engineer, captured the UFO images and data using an imaging telescope. According to him, he captured very large objects moving at great speed. He also has previously worked for organizations such as the Air Force Research Laboratory, Boeing, North Group, and the National Science Foundation. He also has a message for our world. Giant alien ships are entering the Earth through a portal. According to the former Boeing chief engineer, aliens are using wormholes with the technology that they have to get their UFOs near the Earth's surface. A new Kentucky festival celebrates the history of the Blairtown Witch. According to WeirdMeadCounty.com, Leah Smock was also known as the Blairtown Witch. Leah was born in 1818, and her life was tragically cut short after she was murdered by being burned alive. Her crimes, legend says, Leah was a witch who came from a long line of powerful witches. She was reportedly the daughter of another powerful Kentucky witch. First-hand accounts of people who actually encountered the young woman described her as intelligent and beautiful. It was suggested that she had powerful intuition and possibly secondhand sight through natural or supernatural reasoning. She was attributed with healing properties, either from herbal remedies or powers of her own. She was also a seer. She predicted the deaths of critically ill people. Again, tragically, her life was cut short when a posse of people who were afraid of her trapped her in a smokehouse on her property and set it on fire. Leah is known as the only witch to be burned alive in America. Well, the local lore says that Leah Smock still haunts Meade County. And you know what they say, if you can't beat them, join them. So, Weird Meade County is hosting the first ever Battletown Witch Festival. The festival will take place on October 29th at 11 a.m. in Meade County, Kentucky. Reporting for Here to Chew Bubblegum News, I am Goose.
Hello, I'm Justin.
And I'm Bruce.
And we're PreVise. Our new song,
Still Alive,
will be streaming October 3rd.
On iTunes, Spotify, YouTube Music, wherever you go to find music, give us a listen.
Check it out.
I felt it all inside. You left me dead but still alive.
Wake up in the morning and I raise my weary head. Got no coat or a pillow in the earth was last night's bed. I don't know where I'm going, only God knows where I've been. I'm a devil on the run, a six-gun lover, a candle in the wind.
She's been called crazy. She's been called a cult leader. We call her Rebecca. And you're listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum.
Let's see. Do you want to move on to the question of the week responses and be reading some of those? Also, do you know who Dirtydan's TikToker of the week is?
No.
Okay.
You didn't tell me shit.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to. I didn't take fucking screenshots like I usually do, so I gotta log in and pull up. 1980. Apparently, he died in prison in 1980. I don't know. Like I gotta refresh my memory on that because that's a whole Mandela effect in itself. Was if he actually died in prison or like didn't go to prison or there's like a whole thing there too. All right, hold on a second. Let me figure out my life.
We were talking about CERN, Dirty Dan. We're getting ready to wrap up CERN and go into the question of the week. Do you have anything to add about CERN?
It still fascinates the hell out of me, and I don't know enough about it.
Okay. So the question of the week was, what has the global pandemic taught us about human nature? And here, oh my God, stop with the pop-ups. All right. It's taught us that people will eat their own to protect their bubble. We're all stuck in our own microorganisms, forgetting that there's a whole world out there for us to experience. We have all gone mad, but wouldn't want it anything with other than these people. We are adaptable and survivors. Half the population is easily programmable and too trusting of the system. Many more followers than leaders exist. No government cares about its people. It cares about power, and no one is coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. Is that a cousin? Is that a cousin of mine will still wear 2 masks while in his car alone?
Jesus.
That the herd will separate itself? You really want to know? That no matter what you've gone through with others, the second you go a different path, they will drop you. Lost a lot of friends the last 2 years. That we don't like being pent up. The difference between acquaintance and family and friend. The lack of common sense and critical thinking. The global pandemic has taught me that there is a greater threat to humans than humans. That some people will believe anything and most people operate on bad policies, vacant and bottomless business. Yep. Too many people go against their beliefs for a system, job, and family that does nothing for them. I agree. That humans are capable of doing and accepting and creating in larger than I could ever imagine. We know a small fraction of what is real. That a lot of people will do whatever the government tells them, even if they know it sounds shady. Just how gullible and brainwashed most of society is, and that fear sells. That MK Ultra has successfully programmed the majority to act on a hive mentality, and free thinking is way out of the matrix. That slowing down and paying attention can lead you to the most amazing people and experiences. Fear is a weapon. It truly leads to the dark side. So really good fucking answers.
Really great answers.
Questions of the week.
Answers. You are, hell, you're rocking it, and some really great answers. And
I have a book.
You know,
that I get these out of, and it's called My Opinion on Everything, and it's just literally a book of questions.
Those are some great questions. The one comment about not trusting the government, and I don't want to, because I actually got a text message on my personal cell phone during the break. If I talked too much during segment 1 about Richmond and the Bluegrass Army Depot and didn't let you guys chime in, I'm sorry. I'm just really passionate about that. I do want to find the tunnels. I do want to, kind of find out what's going on there. I would love to. I don't know if I will, but, I do not.
So someone texted in to you saying that you were talking too much about the Bluegrass Depot not giving us a chance.
No. They
I was sitting here fucking listening.
Who said that?
They didn't say that I was talking too much. They said I needed to let you guys talk more.
Who?
And my aunt sent me that. So, but
listen, Goose's aunt. All right, we appreciate the feedback, but I was enjoying hearing this man's research.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But going back on the comment about not trusting the government, and I'm not getting on a soapbox. I'm not saying what you believe or what you believe or don't believe.
Disbelieve.
Think for yourself. If something doesn't feel right to you, if it doesn't feel right for your family, don't do it. Think for yourself. You get that feeling for a reason. Follow your gut feeling, and you will always, always be a better person for it. You will have better experiences happen to you. Never trust the government. Okay, never trust the government. And I'm going to go ahead and say this. Now, there is exceptions to the rule. And I think everyone that watches and listens to the show knows that there's exceptions to the rule. Hopefully, by me, yes. Well, yeah, shut up, Goose. Brad the Builder said, Aunt really said, shut up, Goose. Never trust the government. They're just, I'm just, after I came clean with what I did a few months back and what I've done the last few weeks, and I really thought I would miss it. And part of me does. I like what I'm doing now so much better. There's exceptions to what I'm about to say. Never trust the police. There's exceptions to that. But if something don't feel right, cover your ass. If there is a policeman that is, and I guess I'm saying this too because people have been sending me, like I said earlier, videos to dissect. If a policeman is doing the right thing and he's a good guy and he's trustworthy, he's not going to care if you video him or not interacting with you. If you've got one that gets butthurt and does not want you to video them, video them even more, because those are the ones that you've got to watch out for. You know, I don't know why I went on that tangent just then, but I just feel like I needed to really share that.
So many people that are power hungry in those positions and completely taking advantage of the fact that they have a fucking badge and a gun.
But there's also a lot of people on the opposite side of that who are acting inappropriately and doing the things to deserve the punishments they're getting that are just trying to fuel the problem. I'm not defending bad police or bad law enforcement whatsoever.
Right.
I'm just saying that there is also that other side, and I've witnessed it.
Now, we have a comment there from Dad Bass Guitar. Can you highlight that one before it goes up the screen there? I think the video that he was talking about is there's one that was recently, actually recently saw this. Somebody sent me to this. There was a police officer parked his cruiser on a railroad track. I don't know if the officer was male, female. They had a handcuffed lady in the back seat. There was a train coming. They did have time to get her out of the car because the back door was even open on one of the sides. They didn't do it, and, you know, the lady got seriously, she didn't get killed. She got seriously injured from the train, you know, smacking the car. When I watched that video, if you guys have not saw this video, please look it up.
It angered the hell out of me.
It pissed me off because when you get to a situation, the first thing that you're going to do is make sure that other people are safe before yourself. Whether that means parking your car behind or beside somebody's to keep somebody from, you know, hitting them, you know, directly if theirs is not able to move. You just have to, you know, that angered me. Just because you have a badge and a gun in a police car, that does not give you permission to do whatever you want to do. You cannot park where you're not supposed to. There was an officer I worked with years ago, used to park in handicap spots. That would piss me off big time. I mean, he would pull up to stores, blocking handicap ramps, and run in, and you know, it's a long story. I could go on and on. I know we've been going a while. I'm not going to do that. But all I'm saying is, if, you know, you have a good police officer and you're interacting with them, they're not going to care if you film them. They do not care one bit. Those are your good guys. The ones that get offended, watch out for those. You know, watch those. It never bothered me to be filmed. I mean, I'm the same on camera, off camera. It makes no difference. You know.
Well, that gets into this other comment here that Kimmy said, and it says, my answer would be, don't believe or trust others on the internet that you think have the same beliefs and interests as you, because people are fake as fuck. To be relevant in the moment and only in it for the money and to be popular on screen. But really, they're ugly inside and not satisfied with themselves and don't know who they really are. Be a leader, not a follower, and keep your eyes open. Thank you. I second this 100%. 100%. There's so many that are, the authenticity just is not there.
I love that comment. Thank you very much. And I apologize, guys, for going on a rant on that. I just had to get that out. We need, as people, we're all human. We need to take care of each other. And in a couple of weeks, I'll be doing a new outro when we end the show. Exactly. Beautifully calm. And, you know, just watch out for your fellow man, you know, be there. And I hope, and then I'll let Dirtydan take over after this. I hope that more people get to experience the love and peace that was at Flockfest. Dirtydan, take it away.
All right. So I picked something, I guess. I mean, it relates to me and this and whatnot, but Rebecca's familiar with these videos. She gets hooked on them too. Oh, yeah.
I didn't do the new question of the week. Are we waiting on that?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. Dirtydan, why did you interrupt her when she's doing the question of the week? What is wrong with you?
Shut up, Goose. Talk less.
I'm just like, wait, we did the responses.
My queen, I'm sorry. Please,
Sorry.
the floor is yours. The floor is all yours. I will
Sorry.
sit back and wait for permission.
As you should. I'm gonna lock my shack now from the inside. So the new question of the week is, what are the ethics of choosing to be ignorant?
Oh, you asked me that in the shack the other night, and that is a good one.
That is a real good one.
So what are the ethics of choosing to be ignorant? And I will make a video.
Thank you.
Hush, peasants.
Yes. And I'm sorry that I hogged segment 1, guys, but I know that both of you were intrigued by the bluegrass. What are you doing, Dirty Dan?
Waiting to speak, massa.
Yes, please speak. Please speak.
All right.
So back to the TikToker of the week. For me, it is Men with the Pot. No, that doesn't mean what you think it means, which is why I think Rebecca first started off on that channel showing me those videos. But it is just no talking. It's just serene, beautiful backgrounds that is nice to look at and enjoy. And it's cooking, and it's usually cooking with stuff that you're able to find in nature. Just being one, enjoying it.
Where he like cooks on the stones and like
Yes.
little fires
Yes.
out of whatever he finds. Yeah.
Yes.
It's fascinating.
And he always has really, really sharp, odd-looking Damascus knives, so that intrigues me there. This is actually somewhere in, the majority of it and who started out was somewhere over in the Russia area, somewhere over in very far Eastern Europe. I don't know if all the videos are still there or if it's come over because, it kind of seems like it's been commercialized a little bit, but I suggest scrolling all the way down and starting from the first video because it's always beautiful and serene and always makes me hungry. Men with the Pot.
I think that I have actually saw that one as well.
Sometimes there's cute little dogs in the background too.
So, isn't he by like a river sometimes and sometimes in a cabin or a tent? I mean, he's just all over the place. Yeah.
It's just all over nature. All over nature.
That is a good one. Again, this week's shout out to TikToker of the week, Men with the Pot. Also want to remind you, if you want to help those in East Kentucky overcome the tragic floods that we have, we still have people recovering. We still have some people living in tents. You can check out teamekyfloodrelieffund.ky.gov. Again, that is teamekyfloodrelieffund.ky.gov. I want to remind everyone to check out upcoming episodes of Just Listen on YouTube. Who is behind that? I don't know. You'll have to just listen on YouTube. Also, Cooking with Dirtydan. You can find that on TikTok and the Shipwreck Show on YouTube. Be sure to follow her on TikTok as well. And don't forget about the Here to Chew Bubblegum website. It will be coming updated this week. Pinky promise it will. Dirtydan, take it away.
So as always, don't forget to check out a couple friends of the show. Show them some love. Show them some support. It helps everybody all the way around. Go ahead and check out carboncaptureshield.com. See the great things they are doing to help bring back this earth to a better place for us to live and prosper on. Don't forget to check out Goose's favorite to say, Till Valhalla Project. TVP team, spread the message, spread the awareness, spread the word. You never know who's going through a battle. Just put a smile on and be nice.
They just dropped some new merch. I saw their TikTok come across my For You page.
And this will be the last time that I'll be saying this stuff in this particular order. I want to say...
And Adventures with Purpose, like the shirt Goose is wearing.
Yes. Sorry, I did not mean...
Website.
Well, you did it out of order, man. I thought...
I never do it in the order you have it.
Oh, my gosh. But again, all these people that I think, and deadpit.com's been there since the beginning. Thank you guys. I will still support you. I always support you. But in episode 101, I'll be changing things up a little bit. So this will be the last time I'll be saying this particular stuff. I want to say special thanks to Karl for all the voiceover work. Be sure to check out and support friends of our show that have their own shows. I'm talking about CK and Uncle Bill over at deadpit.com. Talk Junkie and Retro Cult with Justin Perkins, Jordan Brad Down on the Holler, Elliot Gertie and Beagle of SpookyFamilyPodcast.com, the Mountain Mystery Podcast.com with Chris Sloan. And don't forget about Beyond the Paranormal Podcast with John Marshall. You can find that on YouTube and Facebook. And if you want to awaken more, be sure to check out Flockingqueen on TikTok and Twitch. That'll do it for this week. We'll see you next week. And until then, so long for now.
Maybe I'm not leaving. Maybe I'm just going home.
Bye, flockers.
Thanks for listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum. Tune in next time as we dive deeper into things the government doesn't want us to know.